GameRanks here with 5 things you need to know about the 2016 Hitman game. This list is a combination of things we've learned from various bits of information about the game and from spending a lot of time with the new beta. So let's get started off with number 5. The new Hitman is doing a lot of interesting things in terms of adding features and how you kill your targets. What I enjoyed most from the beta was the ability to blend in certain situations. Like disguising yourself as a bartender or waiter, you have the ability to walk up to a bar and activate a prompt, allowing you to just start working at the bar and blending in. It's kind of like Assassin's Creed when you're sitting on a bench or blending in with a crowd, but it's a little more believable here. Also, another thing that we picked up that is very cool is the ability to actually walk up and talk to your targets in disguise and trick them. You can lure them into certain situations through some charisma. In a situation in the beta, you can disguise yourself as a mechanic, rig something to explode, and then while in disguise, you can lure your target over to the rig device, citing a manual safety inspection. The target in this case believed your story and went along until the prime moment where you could take them out. In terms of changing your disguise and having a different identity, it's very similar to Hitman Absolution, but it's a little more subtle. You can't just spam the instinct button to get by. This time around, people still do recognize you, but it's usually just in terms of like a hierarchy sense. It's almost like there are different classes. For example, chefs aren't going to recognize different mechanics, but some police are going to recognize other police officers. It still comes off a little cheesy and it's not always super believable, but it does add a nice little bit of challenge and a good way to scan a crowd and decide how you're going to navigate through it. At number 4, in the new Hitman, you're going to be able to pick your weapon loadout before you start a mission. Although this wasn't present in the beta, apparently this is going to be a final feature in the game. And I'm pretty into that because one of my favorite aspects of Hitman 2 Silent Assassin was being able to go into Agent 47's woodshed and pick a weapon off the wall and start a mission with it. That kind of open-ended level of choice and what kind of weapon you want to use and do the job, or if you want to bring any weapons at all, it's kind of what makes Hitman special, and I'm very happy that it's making its way into this game. Also, one thing we did pick up from the beta is that weapon selection is pretty slick. The last few Hitman games, it has looked very nicely, and this time around the menu is just completely simple. You press a button on the D-pad, it brings up the weapons, you swing through them, you select it, that's it, you're done. Maybe it's a little too simple for some people, but I like the way it looks. And at number 3, something you definitely need to know about the new Hitman is that save states are back. This meaning you can save anytime, anywhere during a mission before killing your target. This goes back to the old style of Hitman save systems from Blood Money and games before that. This is a very welcome thing that was pretty much missing from Absolution, and fans of the series really wanted it back. So now this time around, you're going to be able to have plenty of different save states while doing a mission. If you want to go back and reload and try something else, you're free to do so. And at number 2, something very important to this new Hitman game that you need to know is that the levels are absolutely huge. According to developers, each map in the game is apparently 6 to 7 times larger than the largest levels in Hitman Absolution. And I gotta say, that's exactly what I want to hear. This is to give the player an absolute, complete sandbox-style game and how they're gonna choose and kill their target. The fact that these new levels are huge calls exactly to the amount of freedom in the game, and the variety of kills you're going to be able to have. I spoke about it earlier, the new ways to blend in and the ways to lure your target around. But this time around in this Hitman game, each level is going to have a ton more ways to uniquely kill your target. Just from the super short beta, I experienced a bunch of stuff like drowning a target in a toilet, shooting them in the face, choking them out, rigging a jet to explode, also dropping a lifeboat on someone's head. The Hitman games have always been known for a variety, but this time around, it seems like they're taking Sandbox to the next level. I really hope that's true. From the beta, I could get the idea, but I'm hoping it's not just a bunch of marketing buzzwords. And speaking of marketing buzzwords, let's talk about number 1. This new Hitman is going for a more episodic style of game, and it's been very confusing to a lot of people, myself included. But the developers are not calling it episodic, they're calling it a platform. So let me try and break this down. On launch in March, the game will consist of just the prologue missions and the first big sandbox map, that being Paris. Now apparently in this style, the developers are hoping that the levels are so massive, and by including a couple of different story assassinations, each level will definitely get its money worth. Not only that, you can play these levels in a free-form mode, going back and trying different things and accomplishing different goals, checking off different boxes and different ways to accomplish a mission and assassinate someone if you're the type of completionist player. The developers are also hoping that by the time you're tired of Paris, the other 2 cities of the main game, Sapienza and Marrakesh, will be released in April and May of 2016, with 3 more levels releasing later in the year. By the end of 2016, apparently Hitman is going to get a full disc release. But the developers keep using the word platform to really emphasize how this new game is going to be rolled out. They're going to be adding new features, adding new missions, adding new levels over time, so it's kind of just like a growing thing. I still can't figure out if this is just a weird money grab, or just maybe an interesting way to make a Hitman game on a budget or in a shorter amount of time. I don't know what they're going for, but thankfully the core game still seems pretty good. Time will tell. I guess we'll have to be the judge of that when the game finally releases. I will say that the prologue missions definitely had some promise. Seems like IO is doubling down on the story content of the game, rolling out a prologue where you first see Agent 47 introduced to Diana and the agency and do training, and it's kind of cool. They also actually reference and harken back to the original Hitman game, something I did not expect them to do. So I'm still a little skeptical, but I'm hopeful for this game. Those are 5 things that I think you definitely need to know about this new Hitman game going in. I also think you need to know that Instinct mode that was relied so heavily upon in Absolution is definitely toned down this time around. There are still going to be a bunch of different things like Contract mode, the fan favorite. Also, David Bateson, the voice actor of Agent 47, does return, and that is definitely a welcome return, I gotta say. But guys, most importantly, I want to know in the comments what you guys think about this new Hitman game. Did I give you guys enough information to kind of get the idea of how this game feels? And if you have gotten your hands on the beta and have been playing it, what do you think about it? It's very short, it's very simple, but do you get a good idea of how you think about the game? Let us know in the comments what you think about the game. You can also talk to me on Twitter about it at Jake Baldino. Let us know anything you want in the comments about the Hitman series. If you guys did like this video and want to see more Hitman videos, clicking the like button helps us out, definitely. And if this is your first time here, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.